The government has hailed progress in tackling gang crime in English cities. A Home Office report highlighted a fall in wounding with knives and attempted murder since the riots in England 2 years ago. But it said the drops could not be attributed to a government program set up in the wake of the riots, while campaigners and former gang members said more needed to be done. Home Secretary Theresa May said the initiative was working. In the report, figures from the target areas suggested wounding with knives and attempted murders were down. If you are close to the gang situation, then violence hasn't subsided. It's probably worse. Shaun Bailey, former Conservative advisor. However, there was one more gang-related homicide, which includes murder and manslaughter, recorded in 2012-13, than in a 2011-12 study. Sense of belonging. Introducing the Ending Gang and Youth Violence report, the Home Secretary said it was giving effective leadership against the problem. But Sheldon Thomas, a former gang member and founder of the charity Gang Line, said, "The tension amongst gang members has never changed in the last 7 to 8 years." He criticized bureaucrats and public sector workers who he said were driven by statistics and targets. "It doesn't reflect the feelings of the community," he told the BBC. The initiative, which aims to offer support rather than top-down direction, covers 33 priority areas where gang crime is considered a major problem. Of these, 20 are in Greater London, 3 in Greater Manchester, 3 in the West Midlands and 2 in Merseyside. The others are Leeds, Bradford, Sheffield, Derby and Nottingham. In 2012-13, the number of knife-related wounding offences involving 10 to 19-year-olds in programme areas fell by about 25%, from 589 to 439 offences, compared with 2011-12. This followed a 9% drop in the previous 12 months. Across the 29 areas originally covered by the programme, the number of homicides rose by 1 to 15 in 2012-13, while the number of attempted murders fell by 15 to 18. But the report notes it was not designed to evaluate the impact of the Ending Gang and Youth Violence program on local crime levels, and it warns any changes in crime statistics cannot be directly attributed to the program. And the BBC's Seema Kotecha said critics of the government said crime figures were going down anyway. Home Office Minister Norman Baker told BBC Radio 5 Live, "We're doing some of the right things that are helping. We're not going to say we're responsible for everything going right." Charlie Alcock, who heads the charity MAC UK, said the solution had to be small, affordable changes. Changes like taking mental health workers out of the clinic and onto the streets, wrapping mental health interventions around the practical things that matter to young people, job seeking, housing and benefits. But campaigners said they were worried ministers had failed to see the whole picture because they did not have knowledge and understanding of urban life. "People keep telling me things are getting better," said Patrick Regan from the youth charity XLP. "But I'm looking out my window and seeing that actually things are still really, really tough." He said young people were coming to the charity wearing stab-proof vests and pointed to a report suggesting 16,500 young people were at risk of sexual exploitation by gangs. Damien, a former member of a notorious London gang, told the Today programme, "It's a lot harder to make money now. You've got to be a lot more ruthless nowadays." Shaun Bailey, a former advisor to the Conservatives on youth and race issues, told BBC News, "If you are close to the gang situation, then violence hasn't subsided. It's probably worse." The report is the second annual update to the Ending Gang and Youth Violence report published in November 2011. It lists numerous achievements over the last 12 months, including improving the way in which violent young people are managed in custody and after release, the introduction of dedicated gangs prosecutors in London, gang advisors embedded in some job centres, with more than 600 young people helped now in employment, education or training, helping to organise a range of local projects ranging from a mental health scheme in Birmingham to street doctors, where volunteer medical students in Sheffield teach young people first aid. Mrs. May said a crucial part of the programme's work was offering gang members viable alternatives to a self-destructive and violent way of life. "The initiative is working. The crimes that the program aims to tackle are diminishing," she said. The program has led to more effective leadership and a greater sense of strategic direction.